Ellen, today is the day of your wedding, right? But too bad. You'll have to cancel it now. I mean, your whole house burned down, right? And it doesn't even include the fact that I hear you suffered a massive burn. And that's what you freaking get. That's your punishment.
Kira, are you not hurt? You didn't make it all the way to the wedding venue, so I was worried that you had gotten caught up in that fire or something. You had me worried sick, actually.
Huh? Who is this? I don't remember you ever being my mom, you freak. Why would you be worried about me when I've not been home in forever? You think I would just be at the house when that fire started and burnt the place down? It's not even like I've been coming home recently anyway. I can't believe you made it this far in life thinking like such a brain-dead idiot.
I'm not trying to act like your mother. I'm trying to tell you that the house was on fire and burnt down. Well, I thought that you were there. So of course I'd be worried about you. It had been so long since you last came home, so I thought this was terrible luck for you to come home when that happened. I mean, of all the times to come back to your father and I have not been coming back to you. I would never ever go back to a house that you're living in, even if it is used to be my papa's. But recently, more and more things from inside your room had been disappearing. Just recently, there was a photo of the family in the house that was smashed on the ground, and I assume that was all you're doing.
I don't know anything about that. Now, stop trying to assume that was me going in and out of the house when you have no evidence. Are you trying to paint me as a robber or something? Oh, whatever, because right now I'm feeling really good, and I'm willing to forgive you for saying that. On the day of your wedding, your whole house burned down, and you ended up having your face badly burnt, right? That means your wedding with my papa is going to be impossible to have now, right?
But I'm at the wedding venue right now, getting ready.
What? Then who was in that house?
Ellen, I just got out of the police station. I had to be asked a whole lot of things, and that's left me completely exhausted now.
Having to spend the whole day with the police must have been tough. I'm glad to hear that you're out of there now, though. I made sure to get dinner ready for you, so please, come home safe and sound. By the way, were any of you able to figure something out about what happened?
Well, since the house started to burn pretty quickly, the police made it there before things got way too out of hand for us. Our wedding had to end up getting canceled because of it, and there seems to have been quite a few victims who were involved in the fire itself. Honestly, what should have been the best day ever for us turned into the worst day ever.
Who all ended up being involved in that fire? Now that I think about it, earlier when talking with Kira, she was saying that I had burned a large portion of my face in the fire. But that's not possible because I'm right here and completely fine.
Perhaps she mistook whoever was involved in the fire for you? And I plan to go and see that person right now to check and see if they're okay. They ended up being badly burned in the fire involving our house, so I have to hear their side of the story and see what we can do for them.
Be careful then. That fire happened on our property, and that person might hold something against us now for what happened to them.
Don't worry about me. I'm heading over there with the police so they'll be able to control the situation if it gets out of hand. By the way, when it comes to Kira, I know you just mentioned that she was talking to you earlier about the fire. However, from what the police told me, they think she was the cause of that fire. In other words, if proven guilty, she'll go to prison for arson.
What? They think Kira did that?
A camera that was just behind our house got a good view of someone who appears to be Kira going into our yard. After that video was looked into, we took a look at her credit card history and found that she went to a hardware store recently. And after asking for their footage of the front counter, we had video showing her buying a lighter and some lighter fluid. And in the yard, the firefighters found the exact same shoes she was wearing when she went to that hardware store.
No way. Then that means she's practically the one who did this to us.
That's what both the police and I are thinking. I don't ever remember raising a daughter that thought they could get away with burning down a whole entire house. I'm in shock right now and don't know how to process some of this. I get that her mother was a cheating woman who did everything she could to hide her unfaithfulness from me, but I never thought that her daughter would have the same dirty blood running through her veins.
David,
Was I the only one that wanted to think of her as a daughter? I get that I've been through a lot with her, but that house was the one place where all of her memories of family lied. If she was willing to burn that whole place down, then that means she never really cared about me being her father any.
David, I really do not ever want to see your sad, heartbroken face ever again, okay? I've seen it so much in the past that I've grown tired of it and want to make sure you never have to go through those same heartbreaking moments again. And that is why anyone who causes this sort of pain to you, I will not forgive. I'm sorry, David. I understand that in your eyes, Kira has always been this angel you've been blessed with. But in mine, she's nothing more than a complete stranger. I know what I said is very cold of me, but from what she told me, she was trying to burn me badly, like she's done to that person who's in the hospital now. Actually, I think she wanted something far worse for me. She was trying to kill me in that house fire. I'm sorry, but I don't have it in me to forgive such an awful person as her anymore.
You don't have to be sorry for what you've said, Ellen. I'm starting to think that child is really the Antichrist and that we need to put an end to her reign of terror.
The Antichrist? Well, that's another way to define her.
Actually...
Hey, you old hag. I have no idea why I'm being informed that someone filed a criminal complaint about me. Sure, I may not be your true daughter, but what do you think you're doing labeling my family as a criminal? I guess I should have known that a woman who could trick my dad has to have one hell of an ugly attitude.
Kira, I have not been trying to trick anyone, and the only reason your dad ever wanted to divorce your mom for was because she had cheated on him for a long time. You are a young adult now, and I'm pretty sure your dad told you all about that stuff to make sure you would stop being upset with me.
My dad has been brainwashed by you and will say whatever words you put into his mouth. And not only did you brainwash him, but you've used him to get that divorce from my mom and have her kicked out of my life. The fact that you both talk about my mom in such a mean way is heartless of the both of you. You both are like monsters.
If you really want to hold all of that against me, then please do. But you burning down that house, you're going to have to pay for that one, Kira. Like I was saying, you are an adult now, and as an adult, that means you'll have to take responsibility for what you've done.
That house was my own house, so what's wrong with me doing what I want with my property? And wait, why the hell did you not end up getting charred in that fire? I was hoping that you'd burn up in the hottest parts of that house, so not even your bones would be left.
You don't feel guilty for what you've done at all then, do you?
Huh? People are only supposed to feel guilty when they've done something bad, right? I was just trying to get rid of some invasive and harmful insect that was in my house, so I was doing nothing wrong there.
I see. To you, all I am is this invasive animal that's ruined your family. Thank goodness we both feel the same exact way about one another then.
What?
I happen to think of you as a harmful and invasive insect myself. And considering that you're so harmful to others that you thought it'd be acceptable to burn our house down, I think it's time you get exterminated. Unfortunately, David is too nice of a man to handle you directly, so I'll be the one taking you to court instead, so that you may be locked away in prison forever. I happen to actually love your father, and I am willing to protect him with all my might, unlike your mother and you. I'm going to grind you to a pulp, so be ready for that, Kira.
I have no idea what's going on here. Does this mean that all you old hags that ended up marrying late don't know how to speak proper English or something? Because I seriously have no clue what you're going on about. Sending all these strange documents to my place isn't going to work. Most of them I've thrown right into the fireplace, so just give it up already. Half of these letters from you are just empty threats, trying to get me to go into submission out of fear that you might actually do something to me.
Don't tell me that all of those documents and letters from my lawyer you've been burning without even reading.
Oops. Well, I wasn't going to read any of those anyway, so who knows what they all were about or who they were from. And from now on, any more boring documents you guys send me, I'm going right into the trash can. Don't you know that you're killing a lot of trees by wasting all of this paper on me? I happen to actually like the environment. So how about instead of sending me anything else, you just give up and save the rest of the trees?
I'm not sure you're understanding the severity of the situation, but some of those documents that you were sent, you really needed to read. But no worries. We knew, considering the person that you are, that you'd throw them all out or burn them all anyway. So that's why we came up with a plan B.
What? is all of this? Why are there a bunch of papers from you arriving at my workplace? I was called into my boss's office over all these papers, and now there are rumors spreading about me all around the office. They're all calling me a criminal now, and it's all because of you.
I just wanted to let the company know that it's not good for their public image if they continue to allow an arsonist to work for them. Also, had you not gone and burned all of those documents we were sending to your place, then we wouldn't have had to start sending them to your workplace too. It's all your fault that we've had to use up more paper than was needed. That makes you less friendly towards the environment than you were trying to make yourself seem.
All of this unnecessary crap isn't going to work for you. Also, considering that a place was my home and this is a family problem, there is no reason for people like the police to be getting involved. The police cannot get involved in private affairs like ours. Don't you get that?
For some reason, I think you're a bit confused about a lot of this. You left the house when I moved into it, and the name on the place is David's. In other words, when it comes to the legal documents regarding the place, it is David's and not yours at all. Which means you burning down the whole place was a crime. Also, since you were the one that committed such arson, you are also responsible for the people you hurt. Therefore, you have more to pay for than just that house. So please, come forward and don't make things far worse for yourself.
You think I can come forward now? Because of you, I'm being told that I might have to leave work unpaid for a while. I only just got out of college, and yet now I might end up losing my first job because of you. You better give me some money for the damages you've caused to me.
In my case and David's, we no longer have a house because of you. And that wasn't all that was lost in the fire. I hope you didn't think the only thing you'd be losing after that was your job and some money, because that would be very ignorant of you, Kira.
Huh? What the hell do you mean by that?
What I'm saying is it's going to take a lot more from you before you can be forgiven for the crimes you have committed. Unfortunately, I think that's going to require you to rot in hell for some time. But I think I'm really going to enjoy hearing your screams, so lucky me.
Dad, help me! That bitch of an old hag has just cost me my job! Listen to me, Dad! Everything that old hag is saying about me is just her delusions. She's crazy! Dad, you need to open your eyes and run away from her.
The only one that needs to open their eyes here is you, Kira.
What?
I can sort of understand why you chose to make Ellen your enemy after your mom had to go and I decided that I wanted to get married to her next. But the reason your mom had to go was because she cheated on me. So you need to cut that crap of trying to twist the truth all the time so that you have a reason to blame Ellen and make her seem like the villain. Just accept the truth already, please.
So she's still lying to you. I'm your daughter, Dad.
It's because you're my daughter that I had to do the hardest thing ever, and that was showing you the evidence that your mom had been cheating on me.
Things like evidence can be easily faked in this day and age. If anything, the woman in that picture you said was Mom at a hotel could have been anyone that you photoshopped Mom's face onto.
Would you shut the hell up already? I don't care what you think or what you say. What's really drawn the line for me is the fact that you burned down our house.
I did that in order to open your eyes to the truth, Dad. You can call me the bad guy all you want, but what I did was the correct thing to do. I'm sure you can't see that because you're still brainwashed by that bitch, but I'm telling you that I did the right thing. When you finally manage to open your eyes back up, you'll see that too. And then you'll thank me for all my hard work. I've already been giving this all I've got, but burning down the house the old hag took from us and trying to kill her as well in it. I want to know how she didn't get burnt in that fire. I made sure that she was in there before I went and lit the fire.
Wait a second, so you lit that fire knowing damn well there was already a person inside the house?
Well, of course, Dad. I was using the house as a way to get that old bitch killed.
Unbelievable. You're just a murderer then. I can't believe the girl that I put all my sweat and tears into raising would do such a thing.
Because you raised me with all your heart, Dad. I'm making sure that our family remains pure and free of any outsiders, okay? Don't worry about a thing. I'll make sure to get everything back to the way it was with Mom around. I'll make sure that we can go back to the past, where it was you, Mom, and me, all living together as one happy family. Okay?
That's impossible now. Kira, I have definitive evidence pointing to your mom cheating on me from years of her doing that behind our backs.
Come on. You're going to continue talking about all of that now? What kind of fabrication do you have to show me this time? I'll prove to you that all that evidence is all lies.
Blood.
What?
I'm talking about our blood relation to one another. You and me, we're not even related by blood.
What? Huh? What do you mean by that? No, come on, Dad. Why would you be saying jokes like that to me now? That wasn't even funny at all.
I wish something like this was a joke. Kira, at the beginning of all this, I never wanted to doubt your mom and suspect her of having been with another man. But there was something that changed my mind about you guys, and that was the way you spoke.
The way I spoke? I don't remember saying anything that would have caused you to think that Mom was cheating.
No, I don't mean that you said anything strange to me. Just the way you acted was different from what I expected from my daughter. And after having a talk with your mom about your blood type...
What are you talking about, Dad?
When you were in elementary school, you went and had your blood drawn. And when you came home that day, you told me that your blood type was A. But when I spoke with your mom about you, she told me your blood type was B.
And so what? Who really cares about a child mistaking their blood type when they're that young and don't even know what it means? And I'm sure there are plenty of people who have their blood type change.
Kira, I have a blood type of O, and your mom has a blood type of B. There should be no way for her and I to have had a child with a blood type of A.
What?
Of course, the first time you said that, I just assumed that you'd made a mistake and that your mom was right about you having B. But for some reason, you just continued going on about how you were a blood type A and wouldn't listen to me. So when I started to think about the possibility, I went and had a DNA test done. And the results from that test? Genetically, I was not your dad.
No way. That would make me the child of a man besides you then, right? Does that mean Mom was with another man before she had me?
That's right. But when I finally figured out the truth, you were still very, very young. Sure, you may not be my child by blood, but I still viewed you as my daughter and wanted to raise you as my own. That's why I made sure not to talk with your mom about her cheating on me until you were older and I could trust it was time for a divorce. I didn't want you to end up in a situation of having divorced parents at a young age, Kira. So I chose the path of taking care of you like my daughter rather than tearing the family apart right in front of you. And years later, when I finally did decide to divorce your mom, I made sure not to say anything about the blood type evidence I had gathered. I didn't want to break your heart then.
No way. That's what was happening? Why would you tell me that at a time like this? This should have been something you kept secret to your grave.
Because I no longer see you as my daughter anymore.
What?
I should have known that you would end up just like the monster I had divorced before, your mom. I mean, you have her blood flowing through you after all. When you told me that you burned down my house willingly, I knew that you were not my daughter anymore. Also, you just told me you did it thinking that Ellen was inside the house. You just confessed to the fact that you were attempting to murder her, Kira. I'm repulsed by you. I don't ever want to be around you again. I'm going to cut all ties I have to you, and from here on out you can forget me ever giving you any more of my support. Get the hell out of my life, please.
Why would you say something so heartless to me, Dad? I burnt your house down to save you, Dad. Can't you see that? Had I just made sure to have killed her in that fire, then none of this would ever be happening to me now. I have to make that bitch disappear.
Even after all of this, you're still going on about how you have to kill her?
Don't get in my way, Dad. I just lost my job because of that old hag, and that's going to leave me with no money, and I'll be screwed. This is the only thing I have left that I can do to save my skin. I can make sure that my mom gives me whatever support I need later on. But until I go back and talk with her, I have to kill Ellen. And the fact that you just told me you want to cut ties to your own daughter, That means the brainwashing is really taking a hold of you. So I have to hurry up and act fast.
Kira, that's tough to listen to. You thinking that you can go back to your mom and get something from her? There's no chance you're ever going to see her again.
What? Why's that? Mom has always made sure to pay the child support. And just recently, she was sending me some money as an allowance. Don't tell me that, bitch! Did she start talking to Mom as well? And it started brainwashing her too?
Ellen has nothing to do with this. Kira, you've really never been very good at understanding the severity of some situations. In that fire you started where you saw a woman with her face burnt, that woman was your mom.
What? That was Mom? There's no way that was Mom. Why the hell would Mom be in your house of all places at that time?
Actually, your mom has recently been coming into the house without telling anyone. She was coming in to steal our things.
You're calling Mom a thief now?
That's what she is. And all of the things she would steal from our place was your things from your bedroom. At first we had thought that you were the one coming home and taking all of those things from your room at night. But when I found your mom in the hospital after the fire, I was in shock.
Mom's in the hospital? That's not good, Dad. I have to go and see her right now.
I just said that you won't be seeing your mom anymore. Your mom is mentally unwell right now, and that's why she's having to be kept at the hospital.
What?
Back when I went there to see who had been injured in the house fire, I saw her in that bed and was still able to talk with her. We were able to talk things over with one another about what happened, but she was in serious shock due to her burns and from what she had heard from you. When she was in the house stealing more of your things and pictures, she could hear your voice outside screaming something before you lit the place up. It's all your fault that my life is in ruins. Now burn in hell for it, you old bitch! That's what your mom heard before the first floor of the house was engulfed in flames. I can see now why after some time of talking with her, she wasn't able to communicate anymore. The shock of what she's been through has taken hold of her mental well-being.
No, wait! What I said then wasn't meant for Mom. I love Mom so much and would never. That was not meant for Mom to hear.
Do you think that you can get away with saying things like that, even if it's not meant for your mom? You were saying that with the intent of alerting Ellen before killing her in that fire. You're the devil. All you seem to bring to others is pain and suffering when you're around.
You have it all wrong, Dad. I was just trying to protect our family from the old hag. I have to go and tell Mom that I wasn't talking about her. Let me go and see her, Dad, okay? Dad, please, let me go to see her. Dad? Dad! Please, get the police off my tail right now. I promise that as long as you get them off me, I'll pay you whatever you want. I'll listen to whatever you have to say to me, and I'll promise that I'll no longer rely on you guys for money. Please, Ellen, I don't want to be taken away to prison.
If it isn't Kira. So now you're deciding to get in touch with me again? I heard the whole story about what you were wanting to do from David. You weren't just trying to burn down the house, but you were trying to kill me too. That means you were attempting to murder me through arson. I don't really want to talk to someone that wants to kill me anymore.
I'm not able to get in touch with my dad anymore, so you're the only person I can talk to now. I promise to not get in the way of your marriage anymore, and will disappear. If I'm taken away by the police and have to go to prison for this, then I will never be able to find any work when I get out. So please, don't ruin my life like that.
Everything always has to be about you. Did you know that I was really trying to understand why you didn't want me marrying your dad? And that I was totally okay with you hating me for very strange reasons? But what I came to learn is that the reasons why you hated me and didn't want me to be a part of the family was because you were warping your own reality. To the point that you made me into this villain that you had to kill in order to save a family that didn't even exist anymore. I started to feel there was no way I could play nice with you anymore. And after what you done to my home, I knew I had to put you in your place. Through putting you in some debt, of course.
What? In some debt?
All of those documents you had burned up, some of the things in there were referring to the settlements you now owe for destroying the house. Did you not see any of those papers either? You just went and torched a house that was worth millions on the market, as well as ruined a lot of the plant life on the land. That right there is going to cost you a fortune to pay off, and why you would be living in debt for the rest of your life, I'm pretty sure. You'll also have to pay your mom for the injuries you caused her head and back, so I hope you're ready to have to pay off close to $100 million in settlements. And don't think you can try to figure out another deal, because all of those numbers went through a judge and are legally bound now.
No way. I have to pay off $100 million? There is absolutely no way I can pay all of that off in my lifetime.
It doesn't matter if you can or can't. Really, we don't even expect you to be able to. We just want to make sure that you never have a chance of living a free life ever again, and putting you in an inescapable debt is one way of doing that. What you burned down wasn't just a house, but a place filled with memories that David cherished with his life. You're going to have to pay with your life for that, in other words. But don't worry, you'll still be getting fed and housed after this. The prison system may be a hellish place for many to have to live, but at least it beats having to die out in the cold streets. Although you may start to beg for your life to end while you're in there.
Ellen, I know it's been a month now, but Kira is finally being sent to the state penitentiary. She will be there for the next 15 years, and there's no bail for her either, so I don't think she's getting out before then.
So things are really finished with her then?
I guess this means that I never really had any family back then after all. Even the girl that I thought I could have as my daughter was a monster and tried to have the love of my life killed. I feel like I've wasted so much of my life away raising her. What a terrible father I am. I don't think there's any man on this planet that can call themselves a father after watching the person they raised go to prison.
David, I completely understand why you're feeling very upset right now, but I want you to only look forward. You're still a dad after all.
Yeah, I guess in some ways I am. Even if she was never truly my daughter, I was still her dad and should be acting as such.
What? That's not what I meant by that, David. I'm sorry, I may have phrased that really poorly.
Then what did you mean to say?
This is going to seem like it's coming out of the blue, but I'm pregnant, David.
What?
And of course, this is your kid. If you can't trust me on that, then please, by all means, get a DNA test done.
I would never not trust you. You've never lied to me before, because you are too pure of a person for that.
So you're really going to believe me then? Thank you so much. I know it's not the most flattering thing to be pregnant at my age, and we haven't even had a wedding or anything quite yet.
That's not a problem for me, though. How about once our kid is a bit older, we have that wedding?
Sure. I guess we can do that.
So I'm finally going to have a real family. I can't thank you enough for sticking through everything that's happened with me, Ellen.
Don't start thanking me for anything just yet. There is still plenty of time for me to leave you. But don't think that that's ever going to happen, because you're the love of my life, and I want to experience everything that marriage has to offer with you. A day or so after I last texted with Kira, the police were able to find her and arrest her at a gas station where she had been hiding in the bathroom from them. She had tried to call me from the county jail when she was booked, but was not able to get through to me as I went and muted her number. And after listening to the very long and rude voicemail she had left for me, I blocked her number completely, as well as the number from the jail, so that I'd never even have to think about her calling me again. Nobody ever paid the bail money that Kira had on her while she was sitting in county jail awaiting all of her trials to be completed, and in the end was sent to the state penitentiary by the judge, where she'll stay for the next 15 years. Of course, there won't be anyone going there to visit her during her stay, and she'll have to rot away knowing that this all happened because of her horrific actions. And when those 15 years are up, she's going to have something even more scary to face, and that's all the debt she's racked up from the settlements she had to pay. She'll be in her 40s by that point, and with a very small chance of finding any decent work then. I'm not sure she'll ever have all that debt paid off. In other words, the life of Kira is pretty much over with, and she has now started her descent into what is truly going to be hell for her. When things came to Kira's mother, She had to be transferred to a mental hospital after most of her burns were healed up, where she would stay for another few months receiving treatment for her shock. She developed PTSD to things like fire and wouldn't even go in the same room with a candle in fear that it could burn the whole place down at any moment. Luckily, she was able to be put on a drug to settle her nerves a little, but once she's out of there, she's still going to have years of recovery to go through before she can move around with her scarred skin causing her so much pain. As for David and myself, after 9 months had passed, we had our first baby together, and it's a healthy little boy. I'm sure having to raise a son, let alone any baby, is going to be tough for the both of us, but considering that David does have some experience with babies, I think I'll be alright. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.